Thanks for joining us for CBN News Midday. I'm Lori Johnson.
And I'm Ephraim Graham. Topping our news this hour, Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak is expected to step down sometime today. Ruling party officials say Mubarak will speak to the nation soon, and he will meet the demands of protesters who've called on him to step down immediately. Here now with more is CBN international correspondent George Thomas. George, give us your insight on this latest development.
Look, Ephraim, what if this happens, as the media reports are saying, this is in essence a military takeover. It is a military takeover. Why? Because the person who is supposed to replace Hosni Mubarak is a name by the name of Omar Suleiman, who is a military person. The second man in command is also a high-ranking military official. This, in essence, is a military takeover of Egypt.
So Mubarak out, who is essentially in terms of control?
Well, I mean, I think the big question now, Ephraim, is will the street in some ways react positively to this? Obviously, there's going to be jubilation if this takes place tonight on the streets of Cairo all across the country. The next big question is, will the protesters, the hundreds of thousands who will gather and continue to gather, will they say Omar Suleiman is a good person and we will allow him to stay in the transitional period between now and September? If they don't, if they do not seize, this is going to turn into this could be very serious. And so that's the big question, yeah.
Any idea on the likelihood of how protesters will respond?
Yeah.
Will they accept it?
You know, I think from the beginning, people have said, obviously, the focus has been on Mubarak. Mubarak has to go. When Omar Suleiman came into the picture, people started to say on the streets, look, Omar Suleiman and Mubarak are joined at the hip. The entire administration needs to go. And so that's the big unknown. Will the thousands of protesters say that Suleiman is an acceptable person to lead this transition? From the American perspective, let me tell you, the folks in the White House are hoping that this will quell will pretty much bring an end to the protest, because the military in Egypt has a very, very close relationship with the United States government. We trust these two men. But if the protesters say no, then we're in big trouble.
One to watch indeed. George,
Yes.
thank you for your
You're
insight
most
as
welcome,
always.
sir.
Well, there are many questions right now about who will eventually take control of Egypt. Recently, the Muslim Brotherhood has been taking a greater role in the protest and in the negotiations with the government, a sign it could be gaining greater influence. As Chris Mitchell reports, that's a fact has many people in the Middle East very concerned.
Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood, the largest opposition party in Egypt, issued a call for a new era to begin in Egypt, and for Egyptian President Mubarak to leave office.
The president should step aside. He must leave his position. He has already, and his regime already failed by this people will. He must leave his position and the new era should start. This is our position.
Mercy also said all the Muslim Brotherhood wants is a free and democratic Egypt. But many observers are suspicious.
They're not in favor of a real democracy. They may be in favor of one man, one vote once, which is what happened in Gaza. Then they canceled, of course, any future elections.
Former CIA Director James Woolsey told CBN News he feels an Egyptian government influenced by the Muslim Brotherhood would look a lot like Gaza.
Getting the Muslim Brotherhood involved it's like getting Hamas involved. Hamas is a Muslim Brotherhood organization. If you like that kind of government for Gaza, you'd love the Muslim Brotherhood taking part in the government in Egypt.
Woolsey also feels the Obama administration underestimates the influence and cunning of the Muslim Brotherhood.
I'm not sure the White House grasps this yet. I think they have forgotten that there's a term in Arabic called taqiyya, which essentially means lying to infidels, and I think that is what they are listening to. Muslim Brotherhood organizations, some in the U.S. and others that say, oh, this is going to be just fine, it's not a problem. Well, it is a problem.
The consequences, Woolsey says, could be disastrous.
If the White House or anybody else lets Muslim Brotherhood participate in this transition or formation of constitutional amendments for Egypt, I'm very worried that we will have a strong Islamist influence in a future Egyptian government. And that means a very bad situation in the Middle East for Israel and us and everybody else.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
The husband of an American missionary killed in Mexico says he'll continue their work in that country. Nancy Davis died last month after a gunman opened fire on their truck about 70 miles south of the Texas border. She and her husband Sam were visiting churches they helped establish in Mexico. Sam says he prays for the men who killed his wife, but believes they'll never be caught and tried. He also says despite the dangers, he will continue to visit and support the churches in Mexico.
Republicans won major victories in state elections last November, and as Jennifer Wishon reports, they're now using their newfound majorities in many of those states to restrict abortion.
Welcome to Ohio, ground zero in the latest fight to restrict abortions. The state legislature is considering a so-called heartbeat bill that would ban abortions on any fetus once a heartbeat is detected.
Once the heartbeat is detected, the baby is protected. Pretty simple. If you can hear that baby's heartbeat, then that child will be protected by law.
Heartbeats can be detected as early as 18 days into a pregnancy and by 6 weeks in most cases. In the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision, women have the right to an abortion until their fetus is viable or able to live outside the womb. It's only at the point of viability that states can restrict abortion under the ruling.
This bill totally eliminates the notion of viability, and it pushes the ban way up into the first trimester, which is clearly unconstitutional.
A constitutional challenge to Roe v. Wade is just what many pro-life Americans want. The heartbeat bill in Ohio is one of a handful of bills moving through various state legislatures aimed at restricting abortions, as newly elected Republican governors and legislators flex the influence they gained in November. The Indiana legislature has advanced a bill requiring doctors to tell women life begins at conception and that a fetus might feel pain at or before 20 weeks of development. It also requires women be informed an abortion can cause infertility and increases the risk of breast cancer. In Texas, lawmakers have advanced a bill requiring doctors to perform a sonogram on women seeking an abortion, describe whether the fetus has arms, legs, or internal organs, and offer to let the woman hear the fetal heartbeat. Supporters say it's necessary because some doctors are denying women like Teresa Sadler the chance to see the sonogram.
During my procedure, a sonogram was performed. The screen was turned away from me the entire time that I was seeking my procedure. I asked if I could see the screen, if I could see the sonogram, and I was told that it was best if I not see it.
Opponents complain the legislation puts politics between patients and doctors.
Requiring the performance of an ultrasound when a doctor does not feel it is necessary or dictating the type of ultrasound that must be done is establishing what should be a professional standard of care by politics.
Whether the legislation in these state legislatures passes or not, newly elected Republicans are making it clear they intend to act on their pro-life principles. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.
A senior government oil executive in Saudi Arabia has warned his country may have far less oil than previously thought. And the U.S. Consul in Saudi Arabia has warned America should take that warning seriously. Those warnings were released by the WikiLeaks website to the London Guardian newspaper. The Saudi executive is a geologist and an expert in oil exploration. Other experts agree with his warnings. Some say a global oil shortage could be worse than the recent economic credit crunch.
Spring will not come soon enough for much of the South. A winter storm in the nation's midsection has dropped up to 2 feet of snow on areas still digging out from last week's massive storm. Charlene Israel has that story.
Ice and snow buried many parts of the South.
This is probably the 4th time I've used my snowblower this year, and I'll tell you what, it's the only way to go.
The storm turned highways into ice rinks and downtown Memphis into a winter wonderland. The storm made a mess in Arkansas. Parts of the state saw snowfall for 9 straight hours. The mixture of snow and icy roads is making for treacherous travel.
If you have to get out, be very careful. Don't use your brakes that much and avoid hills.
It's a bit dangerous, so there's a risk, I guess, taking to walking out here.
In Springfield, Missouri, a woman was killed when her car flipped over because of icy conditions. For Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's the snowiest winter ever. Thousands of schools in Oklahoma and Arkansas have canceled classes, something kids are taking advantage of.
Throwing snowballs and making a snowman and sliding down the hill and all kinds of things. Just playing in the snow is fun.
Sure is. Forecasters say cold temperatures are following the snow, dipping to -11 in northwest Arkansas and -10 in parts of Oklahoma.
Turning now to health news, the number of strokes is rising dramatically among younger and middle-aged Americans. The American Stroke Association reports between 1994 and 2007, strokes in young women rose 17% and 51% among men. Researchers say it could be the result of the rise in obesity in children and young adults. A preliminary study links diet soda to an increased risk of stroke and heart attacks. Harvard Medical School researchers noted a 48% increase in heart attack and stroke deaths for people who drink diet soda versus those who drink regular soda. There was no increase in people who drank regular soda. They don't know why there's a greater risk, but it may be because diet soda drinkers are living an unhealthy lifestyle.
Coming up, Yellowstone National Park, why some worry this popular tourist spot sits on top of a ticking time bomb. Stay with us for CBN News Midday.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
These are the greatest stories ever told. Presented by Academy Award winner Charlton Heston.
Thus saith the Lord of Israel, let my people go.
Join Charlton Heston as he travels the sacred lands of the Bible.
I'm going to take you with me on a journey exploring the stories in the Bible and the ancient land where they happened. This is said to be the very garden. This, the very rock where Jesus prayed for strength.
Now the Bible comes to life like never before. Time Life presents Charlton Heston's The Bible.
And Moses cast the tablets from his hands.
Praised by critics, this landmark TV series is now available on digitally remastered DVDs. You'll be inspired by the greatest stories from the Old and New Testaments, enhanced by historic works of art. Get Charlton Heston Presents the Bible on 4 DVDs for $49.99. Call with your credit card and save $10.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
And that's not all. You'll also get a free bonus DVD that takes you behind the scenes. And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll ship for free. That's an additional savings of nearly $7.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever.
Call now to get Charlton Heston's The Bible on 5 DVDs for just $39.99. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll ship for free.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thee.
Call 1-800-748-5167 to order Charlton Heston Presents the Bible for $39.99 and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card.
Welcome back. Russian scientists are warning a major asteroid is going to hit the Earth in 2036. The asteroid, known as Apophis, is bigger than 2 football fields. It will pass near the Earth in 2029, and then the Russian scientists believe it will strike the planet on April 13th in 2036. U.S. scientists don't agree with the Russian prediction. They say there's only a 1 in 250,000 chance of impact.
Some people are keeping a wary eye on Yellowstone National Park right now because it isn't just America's oldest national park, but it sits atop the world's largest volcano. Paul Strand tells us more.
Recent news stories warn Yellowstone is on the move. Since 2004, the ground has been expanding upwards at an accelerated pace, sometimes as much as 3 inches a year. In some places, it's risen 10 inches.
We have significant ground movement over tens of square miles.
That accelerated expanding has some folks worrying because Yellowstone is basically a slowly ticking time bomb, one that might take hundreds of thousands of years to blow, but blow it will. Because Yellowstone is the world's largest megavolcano, 53 miles across, and it's produced 3 of the planet's most monstrous eruptions. Hollywood in the doomsday flick 2012 imagined what it will look like if or when it happens again, with the main character racing, running, and flying away from the super hot pyroclastic clouds that would burn anyone to the bones caught in their blast. he couldn't really have raced, run, or flew fast enough to get away. All of Yellowstone's natural beauty, any wildlife that hadn't fled, any humans unfortunate enough to be within dozens of miles would be annihilated. Ash clouds would spread across much of the U.S. A Geological Society of London report states so much sulfuric acid would be created in the atmosphere, it would block sunlight and plunge Earth temperatures anywhere from 9 to 15 degrees for years. As the report puts it, such events could result in the ruin of world agriculture, severe disruption of food supplies, and mass starvation. The effects could be sufficiently severe to threaten the fabric of civilization. And that's what could lead to possibly 1 billion casualties. Half of the world's geysers are right here in Yellowstone, the result of water superheated by a huge magma chamber 4 to 6 miles below the surface, America's hottest hot spot. It's what would cause the next mega explosion. And that threat is what keeps scientists locking GPS monitors on the park surface 24 hours a day, and why they know the center of Yellowstone is rising about 2 inches every year.
If we were getting about 1 yard per year, we'd get real excited.
Because dramatic ground swelling can signal magma's on the way up, ready to cause a rerun of history's most destructive mega eruption. Here's some of Yellowstone's lava up close. But looking into the distance, imagine the awesome and horrifying sight as that massive caldera that stretches out for dozens of miles erupted in the largest explosion in all of Earth's history. It left a crater, also known as a caldera, so many miles across you could drop Tokyo right in the middle and have room left over. Yellowstone geologist Hank Hessler says that mega explosion blasted 600 cubic miles of molten rock out of this ground and shot up enough ash to bury all New York City under a mile of the sandy stuff.
That's 6,000 times larger than Mount St. Helens.
But will it happen here in Yellowstone again? Hessler says since the mega eruptions, the caldera has been filled in by some 80 smaller eruptions that spewed up lava. It's inevitable more will come.
We know those are in Yellowstone's future, but the big supervolcanoes, we do not know.
Still, most scientists say don't worry about visiting Yellowstone because signs of a coming catastrophic eruption would be clear weeks, maybe even decades or centuries before the big blow. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Yellowstone National Park.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come explore Jerusalem, where Jesus opened blind eyes. Visit the hills of Galilee, where Jesus fed the multitude. Stroll through Capernaum, where Jesus lived and taught and healed. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit www.goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number or visit our website. A free idea kit and DVD will be sent to your home so you can discover all the benefits of owning your own pool. Compared to traditional pools, endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Our precision-engineered pools enable you to swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed and ability. Endless pools are perfect for year-round health and fitness, relaxation, and family fun. Our free idea kit and DVD will show you how easy it is for the whole family to enjoy a pool right in your backyard or home. An endless pool or an endless pool swim spa can become a showplace for your home. Call our toll-free number or visit the website to find out more about endless pools. The free idea kit will show you just how easy it is to be able to swim at home.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come sail the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus calmed a raging storm. Experience Jerusalem, where Jesus restored a paralyzed man. Explore Capernaum, where Jesus spoke a centurion servant into health. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
This week is National Marriage Week, and with us to talk about ways to strengthen marriages is the chairman of National Marriage Week, Chuck Stetson. Thanks so much for being with us. And First of all, tell us what exactly is National Marriage Week?
National Marriage Week is something that started in 1996. It was Richard Kane in the UK, and immediately Parliament decided to have a reception for him. And what he has then done, they've done it every year in the UK, but it's now in the Czech Republic, it's now in Hungary, Germany, Switzerland, Belgium, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand. So now we're in the second year in the United States. So it's really focusing on marriage, and particularly we're focusing on strengthening marriage here in the U.S.
And I noticed that during the recession, the divorce rate is actually lower. Why do you suppose that is?
Well, we just did a study, or we released a study that the National Marriage Project did at the University of Virginia, and they showed that 38% of couples that were thinking of divorce decided not to divorce. And of that, 29% said that the recession had deepened their commitment to marriage. 13% disagreed with that, and the rest neither agreed or disagreed. But I think that's some very interesting data that we now have. It's really the first time that we have that data.
Well, you talk about dollars and cents and marriage, and really divorce affects all of us, all of society financially.
We really didn't know what the numbers were. And I'm a venture capitalist. And so what we did is that in the year 2008, we released, in April 15, 2008, we released this data that we were able to go through. We found out that the cost to the taxpayers of divorce and unwed childbearing is actually $112 billion a year. That's at least. Now, a lot of people think it's a lot more than that, but it's at least that. That is more than the Iraq War at its height. Now, a lot of people objected to the Iraq War at its height. Why aren't they objecting to divorce and unwed childbearing? It's a real problem.
Well, you talk about the unwed childbearing. Let's talk about the impact of divorce on children, the unwed mothers, and how does this affect the kids?
Well, the going thinking 40 years ago is that divorce, if the parents separate, it's good for the children. We found, in fact, the social science says it is exactly the opposite. We find that boys that do not come from intact families end up in jail twice as often as the boys that come from intact families. In 2009 in California, we proved that we can't build jails fast enough to accommodate this because the three-panel judge wants to let out 27% of the prisoners in California from overcrowding. So we can't afford that. The other problem with girls, if the father leaves before the age of 6, teenage pregnancy goes from 5% up to 35%, a 7-fold increase. Shame on the father for doing that. But that's what happens. And most of the time we find in the unwed childbearing when they're cohabitating is that the dad is gone by the age of 6. So the dad is causing all of these pathologies. And we're impoverishing the mother at the same time. So it's really not fair for anyone, the kids or the woman.
Well, this is obviously a societal problem, but even more so a problem in the church. Talk about the divorce rates in the church, and it's my understanding it's not too different from in the secular world. And what can the church do to improve marriages? Well,
what the church can really do is we know that from the data, 28% of the churches have marriage courses. Why isn't it 100%? And when the churches do have marriage courses, frequently it's just a pre-marriage course for those that are engaged or dating. Why don't we have marriage enrichment for those of us that are married? I mean, I talked to a very senior pastor at a very well-known church, and I talked about marriage enrichment over lunch. And he said, well, you mean marriage repair, Chuck? I said, no, marriage enrichment. They're all things that we can do. And there are 4 things that we have to really focus on when we're married. We have to put God first, and I can say it very simply. Families that pray together stay together. We have to communicate. Guys shut down. That's what they do. So we have to have both the woman, the husband, and the wife work on communications. Number 3, we have to forgive. And we often think of forgive, well, but I'm never going to forget. We have to forgive and forget. And number 4, we have to serve the other person. It took me a while to figure that one out. But once you start serving the other person, it becomes very important. I'll just give you a quick example. My wife likes to go to some of the movies that I don't particularly like to go to. I go to the movies with her because it makes her happy. She comes to some of the events that she wouldn't otherwise go to because of me, and that makes me happy. That's the way it works.
Give and take.
Give and take.
All right. Chuck Stetson, thanks so much for talking about National Marriage Week. And we have lots more suggestions for couples on our website, including what you might want to do for Valentine's Day. Check it out. Our website is cbnnews.com.
Coming up, there's an app for just about everything, even confessing your sins.
Millions of women worldwide love Bare Minerals.
This is smooth, it's nice, and it covers. I like that.
Only Bare Minerals looks like beautiful bare skin, while it covers whatever you want it to. And now you can get our latest kit with our totally new, totally spill-proof Click Lock Go Foundation. For over 75% off retail, our new kit comes with Bare Minerals Foundation in the shade that's just right for you. Warmth for a healthy glow. Mineral Veil, the ultimate finishing touch. And Bare Minerals Flawless Application Brush. Call now and get 3 full-size gifts worth $57.95 free. Purchased separately, you'd spend over $120. Our original Get Started kit was a great deal at 2 payments of $29.99. But now you can get all this for just 1 payment of $29.99. Save over $90 and get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call 1-800-376-4174. Ask how you can receive this handy compact. Call 1-800-376-4174 now.
It's impossible to close an open can with a pop top. Open cans spill in the fridge. What a mess. And open cans lose their fizz. What a waste. Introducing Bottle Top. It turns your can into a bottle with the snap of a cap. Open metal cans can't travel. What a waste. Bottle Top turns your can into a bottle that's perfectly portable. You can't do this with an open can. Bottle Top lets any soda keep its carbonation. Look, bugs are gross, but Bottle Top protects your drink from insects. When you're done drinking, just pop it off. Rinse under hot water and reuse. Bottle Top keeps drinks from spilling. Now get 6 colored bottle tops for just $10. Call now and get 6 more. Plus, we'll send you the can top popper. Just pay separate shipping and handling. You get 12 amazing bottle tops, plus the can top popper, all for just $10.
Call 1-800-377-9176. But hurry, call now. We're giving away a bonus 6 more bottle tops and the can top popper with today's orders. That's 1-800-377-9176. Call now.
Do you need to go to confession but can't make it to a church? Well, now there's an app for that.
Indeed. After 6 months of development, you can now download the app. It is called Confession, a Roman Catholic application. And in 10 short days on the market, the app has become a hit. It is among the 100 most popular Apple downloads. The app isn't the only thing seeing a lot of attention. So is the Indiana-based 3-man company that created it.
And we thought, this will be neat, and maybe Apple will approve it, and, you know, Apple did approve it. Well, that's great, you know, maybe some youth groups will be interested in it, and, you know, here we are like a week and a half later, and, you know, you're talking to international press. This is not our normal week at all.
The application doesn't replace the act of confession, but it has been authorized by the Catholic Church. It was created after the Pope emphasized the impact of new media. The company has already received a request for the app to be translated in different languages and for other smartphone carriers.
What will they think of next?
I tell you.
Technology. That's all the time we have for this edition of CBN News Midday. You can find information on all the stories you've seen right here at cbnnews.com.
Don't forget, you can stay up to date with CBN News through Facebook and Twitter. Hope you join us again right here next time. Have a great day.
I finally got to the point where there wasn't enough cocaine and there wasn't enough alcohol.
Welcome to the 700 Club.
They started discussing between the two of them a need to pray for this guy. Call on the name of the Lord. Come on, God, give me the buzz. I was joking around. I was daring God. They finished praying, and Ben says, the guy we were praying for didn't get the buzz he was looking for. My heart stopped. He spoke to me that night, and he said, when you're serious, scream out the name of Jesus, and he'll save you. And I remember what Ben said, and I screamed out, Jesus, Jesus, help me. Save me. The very second I did that. If you don't believe in miracles, then don't believe in me, because I am one. I felt the buzz.
We asked CBN.com users how we could make our website easier to use, and we listened.
This is really easy to read and move through.
The information opens up a whole lot quicker.
Yeah, it's much faster.
There's everything I'm interested in right here. The click of a mouse.
The new CBN.com has been redesigned, making it faster to find your favorite 700 Club stories, musical guests, our online community, and special features.
Anyone can enjoy this new site.
Visit the new CBN.com today.